Ever fallen for a teacher who not only teaches well, but also acts like they're unbeatable? Well, get ready for a ride through the world of overpowered sensei in anime. These are the mentors who not only share knowledge, but also prove they are way above the rest. No boring lessons are taught here because these teachers have power, skills, and a big attitude. From main characters to secondary characters, this list is a tribute to the top 20 most overpowered sensei in anime. So without further ado, let's dive into the list. 20. Franken Stein, Soul Eater.
一瞬だが殺意を。くそ、震えてやがる。恐怖か。ありがとう。忘れかけていた。
He's a gifted doctor who stands out as one of the most overpowered sensei due to some factors. Firstly, he is an immensely skilled meister who has mastery in using different weapons, including his very own partner, Spirit Albarn, who helped him defeat Krona, Medusa's child. So this skill makes him a challenging opponent on the battlefield. What adds to Stein's overpowered status has to be his expertise in utilizing the madness wavelength, which is an ability to manipulate the madness within him and his opponents, giving him an upper hand on the battlefield. As a sensei, Stein has unconventional teaching methods but is still effective, so he's always encouraging his students such as Maka Albarn and Black Star to think independently without relying upon anyone, which results in their brain's growth and even helps with their combating abilities. Despite Stein's eccentric personality, his dedication towards his students is no joke, and his desire to prepare them for bigger challenges is even more impressive. Not everyone gets to have a teacher as cool as Stein, and he definitely deserves to be on the list of overpowered anime sensei of all time. 19. Benimaru, Fire Force.
一の型、花月。
Benimaru is one of the strongest in Fire Force, and a great sensei to Shinra and Arthur, as he taught them the art of being hyper-aware. Benimaru took the role of a mentor and extended beyond just combat skills, as his flames painted the whole sky in the fight against the horned demon Infernal, which proves the intensity of his attacks. While Benimaru primarily mentors and leads those within Company 7, his teaching results are rather impressive and clearly seen within the anime, contributing to the growth of characters under his guidance, especially Shinra. As for just what makes Benimaru so strong is that he's a hybrid 5th generation pyrokinetic. In other words, Benimaru can ignite and control his own flames with the powers of the 2nd and 3rd generation. Isn't that cool? His abilities are super rare, and the fact that the sheer power and size of his flames are tremendous makes him one of the most overpowered sensei of all time. Lastly, let's not forget that Benimaru Shinmon is known to be the strongest captain in the Special Fire Force, and that is just a flex. 18. Hakurou, that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
なんで普通に動けんだよ。
春道法じゃ。教えたはずじゃがの。
Right up on the list, we have Hakurou from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, whose extensive combat experience and mentorship role have earned him a place on the list. Hakurou has played a role of a veteran warrior and a loyal servant to Rimuru, to whom he passes on his knowledge and skills. He's definitely not a force to be messed with, as his skills are very deadly, including swordsmanship and various martial arts techniques. His intense swordsmanship was seen during his fight with Kyoya, the otherworlder summoned to serve Falmouth. It's always the elderly swordsman who you don't want to mess with. I feel like all these elderly people in anime are overpowered, including Garo and Zeno. Our main protagonist, Rimuru, learns the art of swordsmanship from Hakurou, and trains with him as well. Even though Hakurou was nameless, he never ventured out into the world. He just quietly polished his sword skills and simply became the strongest swordsman in the Ogre tribe's royal guard, surpassing even the head of the tribe, despite being a mixed race. From overpowered swordsmanship to life lessons, Hakurou has got it all, and that's why he's here. 17. Ruijerd Mushoku Tensei. Ruijerd, a giant guy from the Superdia race, whom everyone feared, but the fact that he meant no harm and proved to be a significant character in the anime touches fans' hearts. He's the one who played a crucial role in guiding and mentoring our main protagonist Rudius Greyrat, along with Eris Greyrat, when they got transported to the Demon Continent. They formed an unlikely but impactful mentor-student relationship that soon became very wholesome. Ruijerd's power can be seen when he fought against the dragon god Orsted, using only his spear and physical strength while protecting his disciples. Ruijerd doesn't only serve as a mentor, but also as a father figure to Rudius, as he shaped his overall character too. What makes Ruijerd stand out in this list of overpowered sensei is his fair approach to training Rudius and Eris and his superpowers, including his physical abilities, lifting heavy without even breaking a sweat, and the power of his third eye, which acts as a radar and locates enemies who aren't even in his sight. He's so powerful that not only did he fight a literal god in their universe, but he survived and would go on to help out Rudius defending his family against someone much more powerful in the future. 16. Igneel, Fairy Tail.
できた！これでどうだ！バッチリだろ！
全部スペルが違う。もう一回やり直せ。
なんだよ、またかよ！
One of the most legendary characters in anime who has the powers of flame and wisdom. As Natsu Dragneel's foster father and a colossal fire dragon, Igneel's strength is unmatched, as he also fought Acnologia, a fearsome dragon slayer. Igneel did his best and pushed through his limits in order to protect his son Natsu from Acnologia. But he also taught Natsu the ways of using Dragon Slayer magic and added up enough courage in him to face the horrors of the battle. Igneel's overpowered status lies in his immense magical powers, through his devastating fire attacks and his never-ending dedication to shaping Natsu into the powerful wizard that he is today. The scale of his ability is shown against the other dragons, leaving a deep impact on the readers and watchers of Fairy Tail. We always see that Igneel's role as a mentor in Fairy Tail added so much depth of emotion and power to the story, which makes him so much more compelling. I mean, imagine being taught by a giant dragon. That would just be awesome! If it wasn't for him, Natsu wouldn't have grown as much, and we wouldn't have seen the classic MC of Fairy Tail that we know today. 15. Biscuit Krueger, Hunter x Hunter.
元に戻るとうまく手加減できなくて相手殺しちゃうから
We welcome a sensei who has personal connections with their student's father, and by that, I mean Gon. Gon's father, Ging Fries, had a mentor-student relationship with Biscuit back in the day. Biscuit's superior Nen abilities and experience as a hunter made her overpower Benolt, a former Greed Island player. And through gruesome training, Biscuit was able to reach the peak of her physical potential. Out of all the participants in Razor's game, Biscuit emerged as completely uninjured, despite fighting in her younger form, which just proves how strong she is even in the world of Hunter x Hunter. I believe that Biscuit was the one who pushed Gon and Killua's limits during the Greed Island arc, because she honed their physical and Nen abilities, and also took them to an extraordinary level. Her training is rough, but it helps out our protagonists to unlock their hidden potential. She's the classic get rough and dirty mentor who will beat you up to motivate you, but she can be cute at the same time too. 14. Kaien Cross, Vampire Knight. Well, headmasters are always overpowered, and moving on our list is Kaien Cross from Vampire Knight, who stands out in the entirety of Cross Academy. He not only manages the delicate balance between human and vampire students, but also surprises everyone on the battlefield. Kaien Cross is no pushover when it comes to protecting his family and friends at the academy. His students are always learning new things from him, and they're not only related to combat because he also teaches them basic morals. Personally, Kaien's dual role at the academy is the most important in the series, since without him, everything in Cross Academy would have gone to chaos. He also proved to be a formidable force against threats, because he was known as the strongest hunter until he retired. Kaien's combat skills often get downplayed by his nature, emerging when the academy was near to getting destroyed. He's the guy that arrives when everything is about to go south, kinda like how Naruto arrived in the fight against Pain. Not to mention, it's not every day you confuse a human with a vampire because, well, they don't age. 13. Glenn Radars, Akashic Records of a Bastard Instructor.
打ち倒せ
Glenn Radars, who may be a lazy piece of an incompetent mage, even after securing the substitution position of a teacher at the Alzano Imperial Magic Academy, but he's not the one to be messed with. Even though Glenn lacks motivation, he goes to great lengths in order to protect his students and family. Glenn quickly becomes the favorite teacher among the students because of his chill behavior and unorthodox teaching method. I think they don't mind his chronic laziness anymore, actually. Now, nullifying one's entire magic technique is no piece of cake, and Glenn is known to do just that. Through his deadly skill, Glenn easily overpowers his enemies. He's also known to develop his own type of magic called the Fool's World, which can negate the activation of all magic within his aura. This ability enables him to save Sistine, the Year 2 student, so he's basically the Asta of the Akashic Records of a Bastard Instructor universe. You should think twice before approaching this guy because Glenn may not look like he's an overpowered sensei and more like a tired college student, but he's definitely not going to be disrespected, okay? From his combating skills to magic, our sensei has got it all, except a little more motivation. Hiko Seijuro the 13th, Rurouni Kenshin.
これから死ぬ輩に名乗っても意味がねえよ。
Up next, we have the overpowered sensei who's in a league of his own, Hiko Seijuro the 13th from Rurouni Kenshin. As Kenshin Himura's master, Hiko not only possesses extraordinary sword skills, but also a type of strength that makes him stand out in his world. In fact, his mastery of the Haiten Mitsurugi Ryu style is a deadly move that allows him to easily overpower his enemies and show his dominance. I believe that Hiko is like other anime senseis who show tough love to their students because his training methods are harsher than that PE teacher who told you to play dodgeball for an hour. But what truly makes Hiko an overpowered sensei is that he literally is just built different. He was able to master the Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu style because of his muscular physique, and he can't even feel the side effects. He is so strong to the point where he blocked a giant blade from Fuji. This man is truly what you would call a Sigma male. 11. Genkai Yu Yu Hakusho.
当てに年は取ってないよ。
よくも我が口を。
やっとお出ますか。だが私の敵じゃないね。
Further on the list, we have Genkai, an overpowered martial artist and a spiritual sensei who's got all it takes to solve your everyday problems. Just like the others, Genkai shows tough love, especially with her student Yusuke Urameshi. Genkai doesn't only teach martial arts techniques, but also gives life lessons, while also emphasizing the discipline of life. Her direct and specific teaching style challenges her students to confront their weaknesses and grow stronger physically and emotionally. In my opinion, Genkai is different from the other sensei on the list, as she has dedicated her life to nurturing the next generation of fighters, and her legacy doesn't lie in just her strength. And you know it's game over whenever old people start posing like Karate Kid. Her ability is literally making her entire body a weapon. She can also use healing, paralyzing touch, soul return, and fly. She even claims that in her youth, she would be able to use Ki and blow people away just by looking at them. 10. All Might, My Hero Academia.
もう大丈夫。なぜって？ 私が来た。
Next, we've got All Might, literally the symbol of peace in My Hero Academia and Deku's mentor. But All Might is more than just a hero. He has an understanding nature, especially when it comes to his students' issues. He has a fatherly attitude towards Deku, and he takes pride in helping him while trying his best to improve him. And in times of desperation, Deku took his shot and swallowed All Might's hair strand to get his own quirk, hence becoming All Might's successor. I think All Might has a sharp mind that matches his strength perfectly, and the way that he can take out almost everyone in one punch in the series makes him one of the most overpowered senseis on this list. He always teaches Deku to go plus ultra, and he's quick to give encouraging advice and celebrate his disciples' achievements. I know now he's becoming weaker and weaker, but when he was in his prime, he was strong enough to beat All for One, the villain that terrorized the world for years and killed his predecessors. You also have to admit that in their final fight, and when he used the United States of Smash, it was just a sight to see. Frieren. Frieren Beyond Journey's End.
アウラ自害しろ
Frieren may not be the best when it comes to sympathizing with her students, but she is no doubt a wonderful and strong sensei. And the way that she trained Frieren to where Frieren was able to fight against the strongest demons is insane. Frieren also isn't one to be pushed around because when she goes all out, even the strongest demons are nothing to her. She's been alive for over a millennia, and her own mentor was a legendary figure in magic. If you also watched the series, you would know that she was part of the Heroes Party, where she was able to defeat the Demon King. She may be small, quiet, and get tricked into going inside of a man-eating chest's mouth a lot, but when she wants to kill you, she will do it no matter what. Keep watching the series because Frieren will let you see flex after flex after flex. She's not called Frieren the Slayer for nothing. 8. Koro-Sensei, Assassination Classroom.
コロ先生、もしかして。いや、別に泳ぐ気分じゃないだけだし、水中だと触手がふやけて動けなくなるとかそんなんないし。
Get ready to welcome your most favorite tentacled teacher, Koro-Sensei from Assassination Classroom, who is definitely more than just an octopus. Koro-Sensei is a wild pick of overpowered teachers on the list, but guess what? There's a fun story behind this tentacle alien who was supposedly introduced as a villain. He was supposed to destroy the world, but because of a reason that I won't spoil, he gave one class a chance to assassinate him. But little did the students know that behind that villainous aura lies a compassionate teacher who seems to bring about the best of his students. I would say that Koro-Sensei is the most qualified sensei in the whole world. Is there anything that he can't do? Even in terms of combat, he seems to be more qualified than an entire army. He has supersonic speed, he can't be killed by conventional weapons, and his battle IQ is off the charts. And when he gets mad, well, just make sure that you're one of his students. But aside from that, he may be the best teacher on this list, and not gonna lie, the ending will make you ugly cry. 7. Silver's Rayleigh, One Piece.
おい、白ひげの見習い小僧。大人げないが、私はお前が嫌いでね。
Next up, we've got a badass old man on this list, so put your hands together for Silver's Rayleigh from One Piece, a name that sends dramatic waves all over the seven seas. This Dark King is a prominent member of the Roger Pirates, who presently enjoys his retirement days with, of course, women. However, Silver's Rayleigh is a rather respected mentor in the One Piece realm, since he proved to be an amazing sensei to Luffy and was also responsible for teaching him Haki. And with the passing of Whitebeard, Rayleigh, even though he was past his game, manages to survive the toughest of battles. I must say that this old man has still got it, and he still manages to fight off the admirals. So one should never judge a book by its cover, because that just never applies to Rayleigh. He looks badass and is in fact the baddest of them all. This man even swam the Calm Belt, which is known to be swarming with monsters. If you gave a choice to pick a devil fruit for Rayleigh, I'll always choose this old man. Number 6. Yami Sukehiro, Black Clover.
それてめえだ。
攻撃が吸収された。
ナイスだ小僧。
Slicing his way onto the list, we've got Yami Sukehiro, the badass squad leader and a sensei like no other. Now, he's the type of teacher who would keep an eye on every move of his students, and he believes that actions speak louder than words. Although he doesn't teach that much. Even though Yami prefers being alone, he's always taking care of his squad, and he always comes to their rescue whenever they're in a pinch. As a captain of the Magic Knight Squad, Yami holds a formidable reservoir of magical power that makes him stand out from the rest of the Magic Knights. In fact, Yami stood out as a mentor figure who sculpted the Black Bulls into what they are today. I believe that Yami's surpass your limits mindset is what makes him overpowered. So whenever he's dealing with a difficult situation, he decides to surpass his limits and face challenges head on. Because of this, he was able to hone an ability that would slice through dimensions. And if that isn't overpowered, then I don't know what is. 5. Minato Namikaze, Naruto. A lot of strong shinobis were taught by Naruto's father. He was a squad leader, and he even taught Jiraiya Naruto's signature technique. He's also known to be a fatherly figure in anime since he tried to help Kakashi emerge from the darkness that he had fallen into after getting traumatized by Obito and Rin's deaths. He has large chakra reserves, which are more than enough to summon Gamabunta and even teleport a tailed beast. Being the 4th Hokage, Minato's chakra control was insane, as he created Rasengan in the process of controlling his chakra reserves, and he actually had the ability to hand-weave spells with just one hand. He's one of the few people who hurt Toby, and not to mention, every single shinobi nation issued a flee on-sight order to their shinobi whenever they saw Minato. You deserve to be called overpowered if everyone runs when they see you. 4. Kisuke Urahara, Bleach.
今回の相手は
なんか楽しそうなお話してますね。ウェゴムンド旅行ご手配しましょうか。
Moving on, we've got Kisuke Urahara from Bleach, who's a former captain of the 12th Division, with one of the most overpowered Bankai. There's a reason why Urahara was a war potential, and that's because he wasn't just an ex-captain with an advanced Kido, but also a brilliant scientist. So, from big brains to great physical strength, Urahara has all that it takes to defeat almost everyone in a fight. Most of his intellect is seen through his scientific inventions, deduction of situations, and even combat tactics. When it comes to his teaching skills, Urahara was responsible for teaching our protagonist Ichigo the fundamentals of combat. He managed to let Ichigo learn all of this in a few days, where it would practically take anyone else centuries. This might give me a lot of heat from the comments, but I believe that without his Bankai, I think he also is as strong as Base Aizen. Not that I'm saying that Base Aizen is weak, Urahara just has everything from being a top Shinigami, Master Swordsman, Kido Specialist, Hakuda Master, and Shunpo Master, to having a large reserve of spiritual power. Number 3. Gojo Satoru, Jujutsu Kaisen.
あとは任せなさい。でもめぐみくんには多少無理してもらうかも。頑張ってね。強くなってよ。
Entering our top 3, we've got the handsome teacher that we all wish could teach us, Gojo Satoru. Gojo Sensei stole the show in Jujutsu Kaisen since all of his moments in the anime are just mind-blowing, and it won't be wrong to say that Gojo carried the hype of Jujutsu Kaisen with his deep blue eyes. Whenever he steps into a battle, the internet blows up due to his cool moments and powers because, well, he just flexes on everyone he fights. You know you're strong when the most powerful cursed spirits' only hope of defeating you is to seal you. He's beaten almost everyone who is known to be a legendary character from the series like Sukuna, Toji, Geto, but will he continue to beat them? To be honest, Gojo's teaching methods are different and customized for each student, but he always follows a regular pattern by first assessing his students' skill sets with a field test, and then afterwards assigning them a personalized training regimen to give them more basic tools to survive. He is basically like Glenn Radars, but more powerful and with 20% more motivation. 2. Whis, Dragon Ball.
そろそろ来るよ。
そうですか。では。
When it comes to someone who has mighty powers to shake up universes, it is none other than Whis from Dragon Ball Z. He's the type of enemy who helped Goku and Vegeta unlock their god forms, and even managed to turn back time by 3 minutes so that he could defeat Frieza. Some fans even call him the embodiment of divine intervention in the Dragon Ball Z universe. I mean, looks can be deceiving because who would have thought a guy with lipstick was the one with the power to destroy universes? So don't let Whis' flamboyant looks deceive you. He is much more than that. In my opinion, Whis, the guy who trained Beerus himself, is on a whole nother level of strength. It's like the master was outclassing the student, and Beerus is chill enough to admit Whis' prowess. Being the strongest in Universe 7, Whis defeated Beerus with a single chop to the neck. As mentioned before, he's been there for Goku and Vegeta when they were in trouble, providing them with a valuable ally while also improving them amidst the chaos of the battlefield. Although there are other overpowered teachers in the list, you can't mess around with Dragon Ball Z's universe. Number 1. Saitama, One Punch Man.
必殺マジシリーズ
マジ殴り
Well, let's welcome the teacher of the teachers, Saitama, who is way more overpowered than any other teacher on this list, and probably the one that teaches the least. Doing 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats every day, and even running, made Saitama into who he is today. His deadly one punch that knocks out the worst of the worst villains has earned him the adoration of people. Now, someone like Saitama didn't experience overnight success or power. He trained himself hella hard to get to the level where he actually is, and has no strong enemies anymore. And yep, Saitama already has defeated a lot of villains. I mean, he didn't even need to go all out in his fight against Boros. Instead of being a try-hard hero and defender of justice, fans picture him as the guy who just doesn't give a heck. Of course, he has discipline in the form of Genos, who he trains from time to time, but the gap in their power is just so wide that Genos will never surpass him. I don't think anyone can, honestly. Manga fans know this, but Saitama right now is just a multiverse-level character. And that's the end of the video. Why don't you guys give me your pick out of all these powerful sensei? Are there any more powerful sensei that you think are deserving to be on this list? Be sure to share your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for more fun content.